Comedy -1, and he tells this story about how he was forced to be the opener for a really angry folk singer named Richie Havens in the early 70s. And so it was an audience full of angry black people waiting to hear angry black protest music. And they sent him out there with, like, total Jewish guy with the Jewfro out in front of this crowd. And he was like, I can't go out there. And they made him, like, wait a while. Right. And so then by the time they tried to send him out, the crowd's chanting, Richie, Richie, Richie. And then he comes out there. Jewish guy to talk.
15 minutes of deli material.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a classic bit.
Yeah.
It's been years, but I remember hearing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I never understood, like, how some singers thought, oh, yeah, let's get a comedian to be our opener. Like Frank Sinatra and Tom Dreesen. I mean, Dreesen's great, but come on.
Yeah, that was the big thing. I remember, in the 70s, my parents would, go to concerts. Neil Diamond and who opened?
Rich
Some
Little.
comedian,
Right.
It was like,
Yeah. So,
any other like gigs that you can remember? Like, you ever do like the Halliburton Christmas party or anything?
No, not yet.
Yeah, they might be available.
Yeah.
tough crowd, though.
Yeah.
Tough crowd.
And most likely armed.
Yeah, mostly they're just, just no energy whatsoever is the big problem.
They're kind of
with those
forced to be
gigs.
there.
Yeah. If you hit one of those no energy gigs, it's just like there's nothing there.
You do your first punchline, nothing, and you're like, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Do you ever find that some of the shows you think are going to be the worst wind up like being amazing?
All the time.
Yeah. There's God, where the hell is it? Beaumont. Like out, way east. Johnny Cardinale books a monthly show there. And actually, wait, no, it wasn't his show in Beaumont. He had booked another show that he put me on at like a resort trailer park.
what?
And it was one of those things where you're like, all right, it's a paid gig. I'm doing this. And you get there, and everyone's really friendly, and the show starts, and the crowd just eats it up. And also his show in Beaumont. I don't want to turn this into an ad for Cardinale's shows.
Why don't you go do his podcast, Dave?
What do you think I'm doing after this, Kevin?
When you think comedy, when you think Beaumont, think Johnny Cardinale.
But no, it's he does these shows that it's a very eager audience.
No, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the right attitude or the right acoustic or the right in the what seems like a horrible setup can be an amazing show. I mean, that happens a lot more than the opposite, I find.
Well, you did a show for me this summer in July where it was like, yeah, come play my parish, my Catholic church, in the parking lot on a Sunday evening, and there'll be 300 people having like sloppy joes beforehand.
Right.
And it was like, I'm sure that must have sounded like, oh boy, sign me up, right? But it went over really well. I mean, like people were like, no, don't give him the light, don't give him the light. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, what about how about on cruise ships? Is there anything weird about the crowds? Are they really into it, or are these people like
No dysentery outbreaks?
yeah?
No, I've had mostly positive experiences on the cruise ships, believe it or not.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've had some,
Well, I mean, isn't it weird?
Practically.
Like, don't you run into you're trapped on a cruise for 5 days or 7 days?
Well,
isn't it the same people like going?
It is,
you
but
again?
it's usually well, you're not doing the same show. I mean, you do like I've had this with when my son was maybe 10 or 11 years old. If you kill it in the beginning of the cruise and then you're kind of like stuck on the cruise the whole time, you're like a rock star. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's because it's a trapped audience. Like, every other person you see all day has seen you at one of your shows. And one time I came back from a show and walking across the ship with my son, I got stopped like 15 times. That's crazy. Literally 15 times from one end of the ship to the other. People going like, "Oh man, you couldn't pass a person who's like, oh, you were great. Oh. Is this yours, kid? Oh, your dad is so funny."
That's awesome.
So by the end, you guys said, Dad, you're kind of famous, huh? And I was like, ship wide, baby, ship wide.
We're gonna live on a cruise ship now, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Because you'll never see that group of people again.
For sure.
It's fleeting.
Yeah.
It seems real, like, for 5 days, and then it's over. It's done.
Wow. So, I mean, do you get to lord that over your wife at the end of the trip or during the trip?
She just rolls her eyes. She sees people like give me all this attention and stuff. I'm like, what can I do, hon? It's,
You don't know the real Don.
It's not like nationwide or
You're not in Midtown Manhattan.
You know it's going to be over.
Wow.
But yeah.
So how long have you been married? How many kids you got? I mean, any funny stories about the?
17 kids, 48 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, I stayed.
Wait, was that your house in
shape.
Paris that we heard about on the news this week? That's why you got to move.
I am a cult leader.
Speaking about awful, boy, those haircuts that guy had.
Awful.
Oh my god.
Awful. That's the real crime.
I mean, it's like how do neighbors ever not notice and report? I mean, for people that don't know what's going on, there was a family where there were 13 kids, ages 2 to 29. First of all, who has a 27-year spread in their fertile years?
Well, fertile people.
People with 13 kids do. That's who.
Yeah, 13 kids.
You're Catholic.
That's actually pretty good spacing for that many kids.
Wow.
You got to wonder if, like, when they got busted, they were like, damn, we were just 2 kids away from our own reality show.
Right.
We were trying to have a marching band.
Yeah, well, they got this weird couple, and the man has the worst haircut ever. It's like a cut you would see from Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber, and they got busted by the cops for shackling their kids.
Do you remember the albino from Princess Bride?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was that haircut.
Yeah. Great.
I mean, what I want to know is like the guy. I mean, they get busted, and it's like, wait, you have a 29-year-old in the house, but the 17-year-old is the one who broke out and like saved them all. It's like, how stupid do you have to be to stay there when you're 29?
They were shackled to the beds, Carl.
And malnourished. It's, like, difficult to gin up the energy, I guess.
Anyway, enough about Don's family.
Okay, so I trust you have better parenting techniques.
Yeah.
Just based on the haircut alone.
Sure,
Right.
exactly. 2 kids, 25 years married.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that the silver anniversary?
It is.
You better step up.
Yeah. Well,
did?
yeah, we already. That was challenging. No pressure, right? 25 years, come up with something great.
Right.
Anything you can share? What'd you do?
No, we had a. It was weird because we were going to go to Europe and we were planning on something, and then it's a complicated situation. But her work schedule was strange, and then my daughter was going to Europe with her Girl Scout troop.
Wow.
They spent. I know, huh?
What?
Yeah, right.
That's a lot of cookies.
Thank you. They saved up for a lot, but I mean, it didn't cover it. But they did fundraisers for the troop was together for 3rd grade through 12th grade.
Oh, wow.
You know, so, and we live in an area where people have more money than we do.
Gotcha.
So we decided to let her go with her friends and pay the difference. But anyways, so her trip to Europe kind of conflicted with our anniversary plans and my wife's work schedule, and so we ended up just not doing the big thing. We just did like a bunch of little things. We went to Malibu for a couple days.
Nice.
Found
Beaumont.
this really awesome Beaumont. Well, that's a given.
Swung by.
Yeah. We went and did a couple big concerts. We did the Classic West at Dodger Stadium.
Oh,
saw,
really?
saw
Cool.
like
Nice.
the Eagles and
That's
Steely
awesome.
Dan and
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you didn't want to bump into your daughter in Europe.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that'd have been embarrassing.
we didn't want to be in a different part of Europe at the same time in case something went down.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
Anyways, so it was a weird, but it was really fun.
That's cool.
We did we called it a staycation, and we just did whatever we wanted for
Nice.
like a week and a half. And,
That's awesome.
yeah.
How'd you and your wife meet?
We were both bartenders in
That always
a
works.
bar called Menage.
Well,
Oh.
Yeah, on Carl knows the area well. Arroyo Parkway in Colorado.
Oh, okay. Menage. Oh, it's been around that long?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I mean, it's not there anymore. But I
I
mean,
could swear I saw it. It must have been a few years ago. It was still open.
man, I don't know. It keeps. It's a different restaurant.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
5 years, it's
Uh-huh.
a different restaurant.
Yeah.
So we were both bartenders. So charming story for the kids.
the rest is
Yeah.
history.
And yeah,
So if you want to make a lot of money, start doing improv. If you want to get married, start bartending.
exactly.
It works. The proof is in the
Exactly.
pudding.
If you want to get famous, do a podcast in somebody's apartment.
Ah,
Those are the 3 basics.
you're rounding
Right
the
there.
bases, friend.
Yeah. So, Yeah, so I mean, like, have you just got a house? Anything?
Yeah, it's
mention there?
you know, L.A. It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
like when I was a kid, I always thought someday I'm gonna own $1 million home. You know, I just never dreamed it'd be like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath fixer up. Boom. That's the joke. Although that was the joke when we were looking, but we found a place in Tahanga that's just amazing. It's like this hillside property. It's like it's way more than I thought we could afford. So go figure. I'm going to be fixing. Now I have to. Did you know this, Carl? Like when you buy a house that something goes wrong, you have to fix stuff. Did you know?
What?
Yeah. There's
bogus.
nobody.
So that's why I stay in this lovely situation.
Yeah, everything. Everything comes
me.
up. I'm like, okay, well, let's just call a guy.
Yeah.
My wife's like, you're the guy. Oh crap! This is
you got to
this is
plunge
bad
it.
casting, right? I was reading for the role of complaining renter. I'm not the fix-it guy. So
Are your kids in college now?
Yeah, my son's in college. He wants to be a zoologist.
Awesome.
Which is cool. He's going to transfer to Davis in fall.
Cool.
As a junior. My daughter is just trying to figure out what she wants to do.
That trip to Europe really.
Chip off the old block.
There
Right?
you go. Yeah, nice. Are they funny?
Well, that's the thing is you want your kids to be just like you, like until they are. They're like, no, not that me. Greatest hits me. Not everyday high school me. That guy sucked.
Are they funny?
They're very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No interest in comedy. Professional.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No, but they great sense of humor.
Yeah.
We were like all the same movies.
Yeah, that's
especially me and my son. He'll watch Dr. Strangelove with me like over and over.
Oh, that's awesome. What was like the first movie you guys bonded over?
Wow. I have to think. It's a lot of movies. Well, we used to love all the, when he was really young, the CGIs were like the Shrek and all those kind of really, those are fun movies, right?
Yeah.
My daughter and I particularly like Megamind. For some reason, that was
Timeless.
Emperor's New Groove, that sort of
Timeless.
stuff. So they always like the really like smart, kind of savvy cartoons with really good sense of humor.
That's good.
But we all love the Holy Grail. I mean, we quote that all day long. So yeah, it's funny. My son likes the same. I've exposed him to like the best of the best. So it's really easy to think like, wow, Dad picks good movies. Well, Dad's been watching movies for 30 years, and I'm only like cherry picking the best ones.
Filter through all the crap. Yeah.
But like it's all timeless. I mean, he gets the same level. It's really fun and surprising to find out.
Yeah.
How many great movies my son and I can enjoy together. Yeah.
Do you have any moments from like when they were little? They'd like make a joke or something. You're like, where did that come from? That was hilarious.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, and it's funny because my daughter's always been like the characters. She had these great little characters and really funny stuff. I thought, wow, And my son always had this sense of humor, like you never saw it coming. Like you wouldn't think like it just wasn't as obvious that he had this great sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then he starts like. Then I run my act off him, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, you should say this or that." I'm like, "What?
Punching up material.
Where did that come from?"
Sweet.
That's brilliant.
I got to give you a writing credit.
No,
now.
I mean he gives me as many good lines as my friends who I write
awesome.
with. Yeah,
That's cool.
So
And they've come to see you before.
Yeah, a lot. Especially my son. He's he used to. On the cruise ships, he would come out to like every show, and he would sell with me afterwards, sell my merchandise.
Cool.
Right? And I think they're kind of getting to the point where they're kind of sick of it,
Sure.
But but my son has seen me a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, it's I'm a fun dad, I think.
Sure.
So
My wife tells me I'm too fun.
Uh-huh.
She says I need to be stricter. The kids need to learn that no means no. And I'm like, what if I'm raising them to be salespeople?
Right?
Right? They're never going to make their quota with that kind of attitude.
Yeah, come on.
Well, you mentioned before the show that you actually were a salesperson of vacuum cleaners. Was that door to door or what? I mean, anything?
Yeah. It mostly wasn't, but it was at the end. We went door to door and,
you had to work your way up to the humiliation?
Yeah. Well, I sold them for a year and a half, and I remember I almost quit after 3 weeks, but I didn't want to give up my seniority. I was like a regional manager at that point, and
Pulling in well over $11,000 a year.
yeah, if you actually sell one, they're like, "Oh my God, this guy's a keeper."
You know, that reminds me of the worst gig when I first moved to LA.